Hello, Swan video here. So that's how I start my videos when I had my YouTube channel, but I don't anymore. But I thought I'd do a beginner. I like doing beginner videos because it just, shows you the framework of how these American stocks, common stocks, are traded rather than Forex. But obviously, they're still stock charts. They still move in similar ways. Just looking at this is just a random chart, but you can see straight away that there's this is getting straight into it, straight into the chart reading, so say for example, looking at this, I've got this little indicator here, you can see just above VGT there's a toolbar, and that's so you can draw stuff on the charts, you can draw lines on it and stuff. And this chart's really good because this is doing all the types of things that basically every single stock does, but some of them they move differently, but they have typical types of things that happen. See, say for example, you can see I've just drawn that diagonal line down, and it basically touches the top of it waves down like that. So annoying. Anyway, I should put that line a little bit lower, the diagonal line. But look at where it ends at 2:30 p.m. It stops going down and it goes up, and it's typical, it's you can see there's a diagonal line going straight through, and towards the end at 2:30, all those bottom candles, they're not breaking that line, they're not coming down again. And also it spiked up a little bit just after 2 p.m, like the fourth, fifth candle there, just after 2 p.m, it spiked up and it broke that kind of diagonal down line and stayed up there, and then it broke out, and then obviously it failed again. But if I move this a bit further, I don't know. Yeah, if I move this a bit further, well, say that diagonal line was going a little bit further down, it would also match up with the bottom of that, after 3 p.m. there. And it's just typical, But the main thing, more than diagonal lines, horizontal lines, you can see 218.04. So this is a massively high price stock. So I'm talking about, I trade stuff from $6 to $20. Anyway, you can see that just before 12 p.m. there, it was bouncing off that level, and it was the median of. See, it opened a. You can see over here. I'm going straight into the charting here, but pre-market, nothing happened. Okay, I'll go into that a bit later. So I'll go into some more charting stuff later, but they bounce off levels, They bounce up and down and they move predictably, and that's why you can. But not to say that I would have traded any of those points on that chart, I probably wouldn't even looked at it, even if this was a low price stock. Also, you can see at 218 there, it is a very strong level, because this, obviously I've come to a 15-minute chart here. I've got to talk about candlesticks, but obviously you can see that this is in front of you now, and this is just a random stock chart. See 218 there? It's a very strong level. Obviously it failed up at 218 again on this downtrend that I was looking at. That was the 3-minute chart I was just looking at. So anyway, I've got to go back to the basics. Green candlestick. If the price starts at the bottom, so say we're looking at September the 11th, the first candle before September the 11th, big long green candle. It means that in this period of time. Okay, let me get on a 3-minute chart here so you can see. So let's say the first red candle there. So you see pre-market, see where it's greyed out a little bit, it's whited out a little bit. So 10 a.m. there, so just before 10 a.m. is 9:30 a.m. and that's when the market opens. So that's where you can see the stock moving, but you also get half an hour pre-market. So before the 9:30, where it says P13 at the bottom there, that's 9:30, and you can see one little, see on VGT, just under G, there's a little mark there. It says SMA 20 or whatever. But anyway, just under the G on VGT, and that's an order that's been, that's some shares that have been traded. But it's just one little dot. Normally, a lot of the stocks will have just the same movement that's on the regular chart after 9:30 p.m. in the pre-market bit there. So anyway, that second red candle after the open at 9:30. It just drops down. So it drops down from, $219 to, nearly $218, and it drops nearly $1 that candle. But anyway, at the top of it is at the start of that time frame. So the first candle will be from 9:30 a.m. to 9:33 a.m. That red candle was a time between 9:36 a.m. and 9:39 a.m. because it's a 3-minute candle. And at the start of that time period, the price was there, and at the end of that time period, the price was at the bottom of that red candle. And it will be vice versa for a green candle. So the green candle, at the time that the green candle starts, it'll be at the bottom there, and then when that time frame ends, it'll close at the top. But you see all the wicks that are poking out. In between that time period, the stocks moved up and down, up and down, up and down. It just happened to close at a higher level than it opened if it's green, and it happened to close at a lower level than where the candle opened in that time frame if it's red. And this is a Chinese invention, the candlestick, and we know that Chinese people are good at making money. That's why you should check out Stephen Duck's DUX. But anyway, I can obviously assist more probably in this charting stuff than he's got on his YouTube channel. So that's candlesticks. So you know how a broker works, because you can work a broker, and it's generally a cent per share in fees to get in and a cent to get out, but that fluctuates as well. But obviously, there's quite a bit to get to terms with, but it's like riding a bike. It's none of it's complicated, And reading these charts is so awesome. It's such a great activity. So let me go through the FinViz for you here. So we've got home screen, okay, home, FinViz, home, and this you use this screen, you use it, I have browser tabs open. I have this open on one tab, and then I have the SPY opened on another tab, and that's an ETF, and I'll talk to you about that in a second, but I'll just go through this home screen. This map here is golden. This is really good because these are the main markets: the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500. ETFs, basically, and you can trade them as well. But you can trade anything. That's the beauty of it all. And there's loads of stuff. These are the top gainers here. Look, wins happen to be called wins. Probably loses a lot as well. Obviously does. But it just happens that wins 104%. It went up on that day, and it went up 104%. But I have 6 times buying power in my broker. Normally you've given leverage, so I've got 6 times leverage. So if I had put 1,000 into that, I would have made not 2,000, but I would have made 6,000. because I've got the buying power. So if I would have times my account by 6 if I'd have taken a trade on wins at the start of the day and got out at the end of the day, you know. Anyway, this is really good, okay, because this is the map. I'll tell you quickly. So these are the oceans, and the S&P 500 is their SPY. So the S&P 500 is the SPY, and you look at this. This is the main market. This is the top 500 companies and how they're performing. This is a barometer for the entire market, and you can see how this moves as well. You know, it always looks like this. If you go back in time, the way it's moving, the way the chart's moving, it like has these little, you know, you can see, look, going back on the chart there. But look, before, this was where it crashed, so you might have heard about this recently, but in January, no, it was before Christmas. So you can see this is October here, this is October 2018. It had just been going along like that for ages. I'm trying to go back a bit here, but I don't know if it's going to go back any further. Oh, it is going back further. But anyway, you know, since April there, you can see since April to October 2018, it was just going steady, nothing too major. And then look, at the end of 2018, it started going berserk. And I actually did a YouTube video when it was down here before 2019, and I said, okay, just purely reading a chart, look where it is down before 2019, and look where it is at March 2019. There, it's hit the top, and I said, if this is the main market, it represents the whole market. Okay, so if this is going down like this, you know, in December, all the stocks generally are going to be very weak. So you've got to look at it this way, okay? So this is the big ocean, okay? And generally, when the markets are going kind of sideways or even up like that, even up from 2019 to February, March, this is why the main markets are important, okay? This is the way that you need to assess them, because you don't need to pay too much attention to these main markets. I'm talking about taking a glance at it every half an hour, every, you know, just, oh, what's going on with the main markets? But this is important, yeah? So basically, in December, if it's going down like that, then all the stocks are going to be weak. Or they're all going to be going down, even if they've got good news, you know? This is really interesting, okay? So anyway, even if they've got good news of stocks, you know, if the markets are this bad, but also you've got to look at the sector as well, look at the sector it's in, you know? And that's the map that I showed you at the start. I was looking at the map. I was telling you about the map. So sorry, I'm going to try and be a bit more. I'll tell you what, I'll split it into, you know, a few sections. So I'll have a little break now, and I'll get back to you, and I'll continue from here. So I'll see you in 1 second.